Alright, so after building my first electric bike, I now have some experience with electric vehicles and I've decided to go a step further. In this video, we're going to be converting a normal Chinese gasoline moped, a 50cc 49, into an electric moped. So, since I've just finished researching how to build my own lithium batteries from scratch, this project should be much cheaper than most other projects I could try. I was going to build a go-kart, and I might do that in the future, but I already have this moped that I've used for previous projects. I bought it for $300, and I can tell that the Chinese engine is kind of on its last legs. So we're going to take out all of the parts related to the engine, which is called de-icing, or internal combustion engine-ing, whatever. We're going to take all of that out, make room for an electric motor and a battery pack, and then build it from scratch. So here goes nothing. So this is the moped we'll be using. As you can see, it does run just fine, but we're about to take out the 49cc engine, this exhaust, and a few other parts like the gas tank, and that should save a lot of weight and room for our electric parts. So I'll go ahead and start stripping it down, and we'll come back right after that. Alright, so I've taken the seat off, it's right there, and I'm going to strip off most of the plastics, it looks like. I'm going to try to keep those intact, because I'll probably use the original body of this moped, but we're still going to take out the engine right there, and like I said, all the components related to that. So let's keep going. Alright, welcome to my mess. About an hour later, I've taken just about everything off. All the plastics and parts, electronics, all the crap we didn't need. And now we've got a really lightweight frame. It should be perfect. Definitely even worth $300 because we have two perfect wheels, hydraulic, front brakes, suspension. It should be a great frame for an electric moped. I think obviously the last thing left to do is take the engine out, and I think the main bolt that holds it in is just this one that connects it to the frame so that the whole engine kind of swings up and down with the wheel. So we'll take that off real quick and go from there. Alright, so I didn't really think of this, but it looks like the whole rear end of the bike is actually connected to the wheel. So we're going to have to do a little fabrication to keep the rear wheel and get rid of the engine, but it shouldn't be too hard. It looks like the whole rear part of the engine was just connected by that bolt. And maybe it'll work without the engine as is, but we might have to weld something. So let me take a few more things apart and we'll see. So I've been tearing apart this moped for a little while now, and I think I have a new plan. Instead of using the original rear wheel, I don't think that I can reconnect that wheel to the chassis as is, because the engine is actually a part of the rear end of the moped. So I'm just going to weld something up, not too hard, and I already gave this frame a good wash. We're going to use the original seat and storage container, and we're going to put the battery and controller right inside of there, run the wires down through that hole, and have a new rear end section with a 72 volt, at least 3000 watt electric motor. So that should be about 4 horsepower, but it's an electric motor, so it has a lot more starting torque. And then we'll either somehow find a way to take that wheel off and repurpose it, or buy a new wheel, gear it for speed, and see how fast we can get this thing to go. So guys, that's where I'm at so far with this build. I just ordered all of the parts I'm gonna need, and I can tell you now this thing is going to be ridiculous. We bought a 72 volt 3000 watt motor, so about 4 horsepower, and because electric motors have a ridiculous amount of torque on the low end, you can gear it 3, maybe 4 to 1, which means if you do the right calculations, this thing should go about 70 miles per hour, and that's a conservative estimate. I'd be surprised if I hit 60, but with the amount of power we're dealing with, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I had to buy a welder. I bought an entire go-kart wheel and sprocket assembly. It was like $90 from Go Power Sports. I'm like probably $700 in. So a $300 moped $100 welder, $100 wheel, $300 motor. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to have an entire new video on how to build a lithium battery for yourself. No one knows how to do that very well. They're really expensive. I'm going to build one myself and show you how to do it without a spot welder. And I really think that you should subscribe and check out that video, because if you're going to build any electric vehicle, lithium is way, way lighter than huge car batteries or lead acid. You got to use lithium. I won't use anything but. So I'll show you how to do it for a really affordable way to create a really powerful battery that you can use. And we'll test that on this bike. So this is part one. We have the frame. We have all the parts ordered. And I'll post the next one as soon as I can once we've welded the rear end up and we're getting set to go. So stay tuned, drop me a like, and I'll see you back here.